Well, hey, I found it. Still, as yet, unnamed core routine. Today is October 5th, 2022. I'm looking at it now and thinking there's one thing it needs, but we're not going to change that today. I changed it a bit already. This is about the third or fourth iteration of this workout. Think of it as a core reboot. So we're going to start on our back, feet flat on the floor, knees pulled up. Relax your arms, or ideally, one hand on your stomach, one hand on your chest. And we're going to breathe. We're going to take 13 breaths in through the nose, exhale through the mouth. The idea here is to inflate your belly as much as possible and then let all the air out. You don't have to forcefully exhale, just big breath in, inflate that balloon without making your chest rise, and then let it off. That's two. You may notice tension in your back, and it may start to slip away as you're doing these. Focus on filling your belly as much as possible. And just relax it all out. So you're going to choose your rep range. 13's about the middle of the road. 8's for beginners. Well, really 21's for beginners. Really slow that down. All right, clamshells. Side lying exercise. Get yourself comfortable. This is fine. Rules here, we're going to have the ball of the big toe joint and the heel touching at all times. At all times. They never come apart. Bottom leg stays on the ground. Your torso stays kind of perpendicular to the floor. You're not going to rock back, okay? And then we're just going to lift as high as it goes and lower and close. So open it up, close it up. Don't let the ball or the heel come apart. Open, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Try to get further, right? It's all right here in the butt. Butt. Right? So this is deep glutes. 8, 13, 21 is the better number, but you want to build up to that. Okay, same thing, other side. I want to be walking around crooked all day. How you support yourself on the side here is completely up to you. My knees are bent at about 90, hips not quite, but near. Big thing, ball of big toe and the heel touch at all times. Lower leg stays down, squeeze up. And you may notice right off the bat, there's a difference side to side. You may feel a different tightness, or like you can get higher more easily, or whatever. And that's pretty normal, but it should start telling you something. All right, so we'll do the same repetitions on this side. Open, close. Don't just drop. Close. Open, close. Open, squeeze, closed. Okay, so from the clamshell, we move into the rocking cat-cow. Fairly simple. This is a nice wake-up move for your back. So, kind of all fours, roughly hips above the knees, shoulders above the hands. We don't want to be, Greco-Roman wrestling, kind of boxy. My knees are fairly wide. You want to be able to sit between your heels. I don't know if you can see that, but I want to be able to drop my hips between my feet. Now my feet are still in line. They're not flared out. So my toes are under my heels in line with my legs, right? So I'm not like a frog, I'm here. So right now, I'm going to push back. Head and neck neutral. I'm just going to rock back as far as I can. I'm kind of pushing with my arms. I'm going to push forward with my legs a little bit, come up. let the weight transfer over my wrists, and then push back. It's that simple, guys, gals, interstellar beings. Now, here's where we add the cat-cow. Big rounding, so I'm pushing my spine up towards the sky. I'm still pushing through my hands, through my arms, pushing back, 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 back. Changes the stretch, doesn't it? Let the head drop here a little bit. Rock forward, bring the weight up onto the hands. Come to neutral, and then flatten and arch the spine, or push your belly towards the ground, and look up, and then push back, push back, push back, push back. You might find this is a little less comfortable. Come up, weight on the hands. And then we can shift back, round the back, sit back. And this is just a nice way to loosen up your spine first thing in the morning right here. Now it is important to try and fit your caboose between your feet. Get back as far as you can into that position. It's going to be tight at first, but work it back. Okay. So dead bug, we all know, we all love. Do a couple of reps. The key points are still the key points. You want to make sure that as we're doing this, the calf muscle here touches the floor before the heel. Right? So you've got to straighten the leg, straighten the knee, pull back on the toes as you're lowering. Oops. And as opposites. Calf touches, the arm should be straight, palm up towards the sky, all the way back down to the floor. Up and switch. So things to think about, you're actually pulling the leg down by squeezing your glute, your butt muscle. Right? So you're pulling that down, pull it down. And you've got to pull the arm down, you can't just drop it. And to keep it straight, you've got to think about what's happening at the shoulder and slide the shoulder under your body as you reach back. Okay? So reach the arm back and down. Pull that leg down. And again, you're going to go for your prescribed number of reps. 8's fairly easy. 13 starts getting challenging. The glute bridge, this is the one where the ball does not move. We put our heels up on about the top center of the ball. Toes are pulled up. We're driving through the heels. Keep the knees on train tracks. Don't let them pop open. Okay? And we're going to pelvic tilt, tighten up that low belly, and lift. Focus on that low belly being tight at the beginning, all the way through the end. And yes, you do tap down. Tight low belly. The belly shouldn't be leading this. Okay, so that's glute bridge. Ball doesn't move, hips move. From here we go to reverse crunch, I believe. Yes. So remember, you want to try and keep the tailbone off the floor. Reach back. I've conveniently got a kettlebell here for an anchor. And use the anchor, don't use the anchor. Well, use the anchor because it increases the stretch available to you in fully bringing the knees towards your eyes. Go low pressure on the anchor to start. That's where the abs work, so about there. And then we're pulling in through all of the rest of the upper body muscles. Through the ribs, the lats, shoulders and chest even, to finish that. But it's stretching your back. So even if you're not using an anchor, reverse crunch, as long as you're getting from here to about here, you're going to see results, right? Higher, a little better as you get stronger with the arms back. And then when you put the anchor on, you can get even further into the stretch. Your call, but I would go for the stretch because you're still going to get the strength in. Okay, so after the reverse crunch, everybody's favorite is a mountain climber cross body. So cues here, make sure the shoulders are above the hands. Make sure you've got back not arched, but almost hollowed. So think about that tight low belly again. Keep the hips pulled in and under, and then reach up and tap every rep. Tap knee to arm. This is a slow movement. Don't let the leg that's moving touch the foot, touch the ground. Just bring the knee up. So that extra inch or two, bring the knee to touch, really hits those abs harder. All right, some of it's flexibility, some of it's positioning. So again, make sure that you're not like this, right? Because now my shoulders are behind my hands, my hips are up, back is arched. I can't reach. I have to completely reset, and then I reach. Okay? So think about that pelvic tilt, low belly, and you'll be more successful. From there, everybody knows the straight bridge. Again, hand position. Pick the one that works best for you. Fingers pointing back may be ideal. Fingers pointing forward. Massive stretch for some of us, very ideal. Hands to the sides, maybe more comfortable. Just get comfortable, worry about what's going on. Shoulders back and down, head and neck neutral, drive through the heels. So pull back with the shoulders, right? And then shove them down into the ground. Tight low belly, squeeze to the heels. Right? So glutes, hamstrings, head and neck neutral. And again, focusing on a taut, tight, like a little drum, that low belly from the belly button out to the hips and down to the pubic bone, that little triangle there. Make those muscles work for you. Okay. Side plank and crunch, we all know and love. Again, you can do these either on a straight arm or on a bent, so you can rest your forearm on the ground, still shoulder above the elbow. Bottom leg is behind you, top leg is in front of you. Opposite arm is up here, crunch. And we're going to open and close. So open, so stretch, and squeeze closed. And again, we can do those up on the hand, shoulder above that hand, same deal. Whoops, tipping over here. So we're not trying to crunch and contort the torso, we're trying to articulate the hip and the shoulder and keep this as still as possible. A lot of people ask about my foot on the floor here. Mine's flat, yours could be tipped up. Whatever works for you. Everybody's a little different there. I find barefoot, and I've got decent ankle mobility, that works best. A lot of surface area, good grip, and a lot of stability. Open and close. Stretch, contract. Okay, side plank and crunch done. Ab rollouts. So this far into the workout, here's where the reps are going to drop. If you're new to these, you could just do 3. You can do them up against a wall, shorten your stroke so you don't hurt yourself. The key rule for these is, again, that pelvic alignment. Glutes are squeezed, low belly's pulled real tight. You're going to be in more of a hollowy position than an arched position. So more here as you go through the motion. Okay, so your start position is not like this. What will happen is you'll end up with the wheel out further and your hips locked forward like so. Notice my shoulders are just above the spindle of the wheel, right, the handle. Hips are forward, low belly is tight. Now I begin my reach and I pull back. And if you're only going this far, that's okay. The farther you go, obviously the harder it is. But the more we work the upper back, I actually use the ab rollout more as an upper back exercise. Now this can be done on a TRX. If you're really, really new to these, you can grab a stability ball, set it out in front of you, kind of punch with fists and straight elbows, punch into the side of the ball, lock the hips forward, kind of lean in. And it's the same movement we were just doing. It's a little bit easier because we're up higher from the ground, but it also allows us to get more reach or extension through the shoulder to come down through, okay? So, good move. Knee tuck, we know. Remember, it's about tucking the knees under the hips. So here to here, don't let the hips pop up. Keep the knees tight and under. Try and bring them up and under your body into your chest. Okay. Do your reps. And then the back bridge for breaths. You're going to do exactly that. You're going to lay across the ball backwards, get comfortable, and do the same breathing we did in the beginning. Try to expand the balloon as much as possible, and then try to feel the weight falling away from your belly button through your legs. Your arms can be back here, can be arms crossed, whatever. Fill the belly. And let it out. Take the time here to do 13 or 21 breaths. And you may want to wait a second before you get into it. Catch your breath before you start it. Side notes, if you are going to do more than one round, the first and last exercises are just that, the first and last. So your first round would have the breathing drill, but if you did a second, I would skip that, right, and come down to the clamshells, and then go through. And if you're going to do 2 rounds, end on the back bridge. But if you're only doing 1 round, you would end on it. So if you're doing 2, don't skip the ball bridge at the end. Go back up to the clamshells, go all the way through, and if round 2 is it for you, then do the back bridge. That'll be your last exercise, okay? 3 rounds, again, omit and, scoot through. Should take 15 minutes, 20 minutes, depending on the reps you're doing. Any faster than that and you're rushing, slow down. Enjoy it. It'll make your back feel better, I promise. And it'll make your core a lot stronger.